This happened when I was 17, and it's the reason I never stay late at the gym anymore. It was a normal Thursday night. I had stayed after school to finish a workout since I had a basketball game coming up. The gym I went to wasn't huge, just a local place with a weight section, a few treadmills, and a small locker room. By the time I got there, it was already around 8:30 p.m. At first, everything felt normal. There were a few people lifting weights, someone jogging on the treadmill, and the front desk guy scrolling on his phone. I started with bench press, then moved to dumbbells, music in my earbuds, completely zoned in. But slowly, people started leaving. By 9:15, it was just me and one other guy. I noticed him because he wasn't really working out. He was sitting on a machine, just watching, not staring directly, but every time I looked up, his head would turn slightly away like he didn't want to get caught. I told myself I was overthinking. I moved to the squat rack. That's when I realized the front desk was empty. No staff, no one checking people in. Now it was just me and that guy, just gone. I tried to ignore it and finish my last set, but I could feel it, that uncomfortable feeling you get when someone's paying too much attention to you. I glanced over again. He was closer now. Not by a lot, but definitely closer than before. I decided I was done. I wiped down the bar, grabbed my bag, and started heading toward the locker room to get my hoodie. That's when I heard footsteps behind me, slow, heavy, matching my pace. I didn't turn around right away. I just kept walking, trying to act normal. But when I reached the locker room door, I glanced back. He stopped instantly, like he didn't want me to see him walking. I went inside, heart starting to pound. The locker room was empty, completely silent except for the faint hum of the lights. I moved quickly, opened my locker, and shoved my stuff in my bag. That's when I heard the door creak open behind me. I froze. Footsteps again, slower this time. I looked up into the mirror and saw him. Standing just inside the doorway, he wasn't saying anything, just staring. Gym's closing soon, I think, I said, trying to sound casual. No response. He took one step closer. That's when my chest tightened. Something was seriously wrong. I zipped my bag and slung it over my shoulder. I gotta go, I said, walking toward the exit. He stepped to the side, but not fully, like he was blocking part of the doorway. As I passed him, I could feel him watching me, way too close. I didn't stop, didn't look back, just walked straight out into the main gym area. But here's the worst part. The lights were dimmer now, and the front door, locked. I walked up and pulled it. Nothing. That didn't make sense. People had left earlier. Behind me, I heard the locker room door open again. I turned around, and he was walking toward me, faster now. Panic hit instantly. I rushed to the side exit near the emergency door and slammed the push bar. It opened. I didn't even think. I just ran. Out into the dark parking lot, across the street, not stopping until I reached a lit convenience store nearby. I stayed there for almost 20 minutes before going back with the cashier. When we returned, the gym door was unlocked, lights were fully on, and the guy, gone. The next day, I asked the front desk about it. They told me something that still messes with me. The staff had closed early that night. There wasn't supposed to be anyone inside after 9. I thought someone was watching me through the mirror, but what I realized later was way worse. I usually worked out late because the gym was quieter around 10 p.m. Less people, more space. That night, though, it was almost empty when I got there. Just one guy near the cable machines. He looked normal at first, hoodie, sweatpants, hood up. But something felt off. He never used the machines. He just stood there. I started my workout anyway. Deadlifts, then moved to the mirror area for curls. That's when I noticed him in the reflection. He wasn't behind me in real life, but in the mirror, I could see him standing directly in line with me. I turned around. Nothing. He was still across the room. I frowned and went back to lifting. Probably just angle or something. But a minute later, I checked again. In the mirror, he was closer. I turned again, still far away. That's when my stomach dropped. Every time I looked in the mirror, he looked closer than he actually was. I tried to ignore it, but my focus was gone. I could feel my heart beating faster. Not fast, something wasn't right. Just slow walking. But here's the thing. I didn't see him move directly, only in the mirror, step by step, closer, closer, until in the reflection, he was just a few feet behind me. I spun around instantly. He was still halfway across the gym. That's when I grabbed my stuff. I wasn't staying to figure it out. As I headed for the exit, I passed the mirror one last time and saw something that made my blood run cold. He wasn't where I had just seen him. In the reflection, he was right behind me. I bolted. Didn't stop, didn't look back, just ran out of the gym. When I got to my car, I turned around. He was standing inside, near the door. Not chasing me, just watching. I never went back at night again, because I still don't understand how someone could look closer in a mirror than they actually were. I opened a locker that wasn't mine, and I wish I hadn't. It was around 9 p.m., and I had just finished a long workout. The gym was almost empty, which I actually preferred. I headed into the locker room, grabbed a towel, and went to my usual locker. But something was off. It was already slightly open. I knew I had locked it. I hesitated for a second, then pulled it open. Inside, my stuff was there. But not just mine. There was a second bag. Black, not mine. I frowned. Maybe someone mixed up lockers? I looked around. No one else was there. "Hello?" I called out. No answer. I reached in and moved the bag slightly. That's when I noticed something inside it. Not gym clothes, not shoes, rope, duct tape. My stomach dropped instantly. I stepped back, heart racing. This wasn't normal. This wasn't a mistake. That's when I heard a locker slam behind me. I turned around fast. A guy was standing at the far end of the room. I hadn't heard him come in. He just appeared. "Wrong locker," he said calmly. My throat went dry. His voice was flat. "Sorry, no emotion. That's mine." I slowly stepped away from the locker. "My bad." He started walking toward me. Not rushing, just steady. But something about the way he moved, it didn't feel normal. Too controlled, too focused. I grabbed my bag quickly. "I'm gonna go." He didn't respond, just kept walking. As I passed him, I could feel his eyes locked on me. I didn't stop until I was out of the locker room and into the main gym. I went straight to the front desk, but no one was there. Of course. When I turned around, I saw him standing at the entrance of the locker room, watching me, not blinking. That was enough. I ran out of the gym and got into my car, locking the doors immediately. I sat there, breathing hard, trying to calm down. Then I looked up. He was standing just inside the glass doors, still watching. The next day, I reported it to the gym. They checked the cameras. And what they told me still scares me. No one had entered the locker room after me. No one except me.